Hello and good morning to the stream. Today we'll be trading the Forex markets live. Right now I'm just looking for a good trade setup. Euro USD seems to be on a downtrend. Just a couple disclaimers. This is for entertainment use only. I'm just trying to do a video blog to document my trade sessions so that I can go back and analyze them later. But I will try to explain what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking on these trades as we go through it. So I'm just looking for a good setup. I'm going to go through a couple pairs. Euro USD looks good. And really what I'm looking for is a good trend on the hourly chart. See, this is kind of started to come back up, so it's kind of a counter trend right now. Have a lot of sideways movement on the Aussie franc. Yeah, not a lot of commitment from the market right now on these pairs. So. And we'll just take a couple minutes to go through here, make sure we have a good setup before we get started. This is a pretty good trend, but it didn't cross over this pivot point. Look on the 15-minute chart for confirmation, but I think this is going to be, yeah, it's kind of slowing down its upward momentum, so definitely want something with more momentum. CAD JPY has pretty good momentum to the upside. But it looks similar to the US Euro USD, so I'd probably want to trade the Euro USD over the Japanese pairs right now. Skip around a little bit, check some of my favorite pairs and see what they look like. So we have a lot of sideways movement. We broke down out of that consolidation, but then, you know, there wasn't a lot of commitment to that level. So I think we're going to skip the pound US. Let's look at the euro pound. A lot of downward momentum. It tried to break out here and kind of went back down. This wouldn't be bad to trade. You can see on the 15-minute chart, it really pushed down and then it has some consolidation again. So I'm afraid that there might be some continuation on the 15-minute chart because this pushed down so much, we may end up retracing a little bit. So gonna look some more. So here's some really good upward momentum the last couple of days. Let's look at the 15-minute chart here. And see, the 15-minute chart does have some upward momentum here. Even though it pulled down, it's kind of continuing this march up. So this may not be a bad place to trade, you know, the upward momentum. Get in on these pullbacks, let it trade up. Check the 1-minute chart and see if we're seeing the same thing. See, we kind of have pullbacks and then ups and pullbacks and ups. We got that same upward trend But this is a big consolidation phase right here. You can see that it never really broke through on either side, and it's just now starting to break through, but then it came right back. So we could be stuck in some consolidation, and if that is true, you run the risk of being on the wrong side if it breaks out. The overall trend is up, but this could come back down to the downside with all this consolidation here. I think I'm gonna go back to the Euro USD. We're gonna try to trade that. I'm gonna check for. I'm gonna check for any news events. Doesn't look like anything's gonna be in our time frame that would affect the US dollar. So. All right, so let's take a look and see how we're set up here. Looks like we're getting a little bit of run up. Remember, our overall trend was down, right? So we're going to put on some text that just reminds us that we're selling. I'm going to put that right here. We're going to change this over to the 15-minute chart. Same kind of consolidation here, guys, and see it broke to the downside, and now it's trying to retest those highs. So as it pulls back, I'm going to be looking to take some sells, so hopefully we can get some more momentum to the down. But I will put this right here. I'm going to draw some lines. I always start with some lines here, kind of give me some support and resistance levels that I can keep track of. Zoom out a little bit. Just kind of gives me an idea of when we're getting into areas where we might get stuck. The other thing is, this is an outside range, right? I don't have any information about what's going on below these pairs. Same thing over here, right? We've been going down, so there's no down support, but I am going to draw a couple of those lines over here, right? Put one right there, put one right there, maybe one at this level. Right, and this is the last place it broke up, so we'll put one right there. Just drag it down a little bit to get it on these little pairs right here. There we go. So now we have some kind of ranges that we're looking for, right? And these are, this one's about 13 pips from there. These are about 13 pips, so looks like the ranges on these are about 10 to 13. Our price cycles have been, 20 to 30 pips. So hopefully we can get some good movement today. All right, so this is getting up into that level where I'm going to start selling. I'm going to put a couple sells on just to confirm. I always trade with a micro lot for this account. And we're going to be looking for 3 pips of profit. And I always put a stop loss on just in case I need to put a stop loss on and leave the computer. The other things you'll see in this case, I have a stochastic indicator. Looks like we're a little overbought, so that's why I'm going to be looking for that downward momentum in the market. You also see this purple line. This will become hopefully more visible, or this pink line, I apologize, will become more visible as we move on. But the premise of that is that pink line will follow the break-even point for all the trades in my setup. So if I have multiple trades on, it'll tell me where the price has to get to just to break even. So right now we're below that line and we have positive positions. So also we have a positive total unrealized down here. You can see that at the bottom. So we're just looking for that price to keep going down. So my first trades, I don't usually put a take profit on all of them because I'm looking for the best setup for those trades in case I want to let one run. So every time I'm in a sell and I put a higher trade on, I'll put 2 on, and I will not have a take profit for one of the trades, and then I'll take off the other trade as it goes down and takes profit. That allows me to stay in the winners longer with pretty much little risk. You know, I've already taken some profit there. And as long as the price is moving in my direction, then I shouldn't have any issues with the best position. So we're not really getting a lot of movement either way here. It's kind of consolidating. We'll give it a couple minutes to see what it does. And guys, just a reminder, you know, this is for entertainment purposes only. So even though I'm taking live trades, I don't recommend you follow my trades, or am I giving you any advice for how to trade the market. I'm just simply explaining my process and what's happening on the screen. And I do want to thank you for joining us today and following along. All right, hopefully we can get it to break down through. But the good thing is we're on this, you know, this this resistance line right here. So hopefully we can get a little bit of resistance and help push us down. So. Looks like the markets are still asleep here a little bit until the U.S. market wakes up. So might see a little bit of slow movement for now. It just cannot make up its mind today. And the problem is the consolidation is not big enough to make any real trades on. You know, it's only like 2 pips tall. So even with the spread of 0.8, if I tried to get 2 pips of profit, I wouldn't even be getting that, right? We'd just be in trades all over the place, and it not actually moving enough to finish the trade. And right now I'm just not putting any on because I want to get confirmation that the market's going to move in the direction we think it's going to move. I don't want to be stuck heavy in positions here with a whipsaw. Everything runs up to the upside, and then I'm stuck down here holding the bag. So if we can get a little confirmation that the market's actually going to move down today, that would be very beneficial to how we're going to trade. So here we are. We actually got some movement. This is good. It's going to come down here. Now, if this candle gets, 10 pips long, I may take on some buys just because that would be abnormal for this market, right? We've been moving, 2 or 3 pips a candle. If it moves down 10 pips, you may get a little bit of retracement on that. I normally do about 25 to 50% retracement. So if it goes down 10 pips, you can probably get 2 or 3 pips out of that. But at least it's moving in our direction now. It doesn't look like it was too much of an abnormal candle. We're just actually getting some volatility coming into the market, which will be good. Hopefully this will come down to about here and I can take some profit on these trades. Again, these are our, I call them our apex trades. They were at the very top of the range that we thought we were going to see price movement. So those, one or both of those, will stay on until we have another apex. So if the price comes back up past our apex trades and we take more trades, those will become our apex trades, and then we'll take profit on these and take those out as they go back down. Change this to 2. We don't have a ton of volatility in the market right now. We're getting 3 pip candles. So if I can get a couple trades with 2 pips out of the market, that would be helpful. Try to get this return up a little bit. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of a pullback, up to about the top of this candle. We'll be able to take some more positions and then, let it run down again. Just because our overall trend is sell, that doesn't mean that we can't take some buys as we think the market's going to bounce back. If you look at a lot of these situations where it goes down, up, down, up, down, up, right? So in that case, if I think it's getting down towards a support resistance level, I'll take some buys and just get 2 or 4 pips, 10 pips, and out of that. And then that'll set us up for our next sell position. You just don't want to get too heavy in the buys. If you get too heavy, if you bought, here and it didn't really get your 4 pips, or here, then you'd be stuck in a buy order until it got way down here, right? And then you're looking at holding on to that guy for almost an hour before you get your movement back in the right direction. So So hopefully we can get, I don't really want to get back in until it's moved up, 3-4 pips, something like that, where we had, plenty of movement to the upside. That way we can at least get some value. You don't want to chase the money, right? If the market's going your direction, you don't want to put a bunch of trades on and try to chase it, because then you'll get stuck at the bottom when it reverses with a trade that you'll never get out of. So we have a little bit of support right here, right? This is where it bounced off last time. If it gets down to here, we'll be looking to see if it can actually break through. And this is our long-term support down here. That was off of the support levels back here where it kind of bounced up and down a few times. So that'll be good if we can get in there and let it bounce a couple times and then see, is it going to go up or are we going to continue our downtrend? Right now, I'm going to be looking for it to break through and come back down to these levels, which will help give us some good profit for the day. All right, so we've had some really good movement. I'm just going to leave those on until I think we're going to go another direction here. Now again, we're in this resistance level, so I can put on, a buy and just see if we can take some profit out. But I'm thinking we're going to break down to at least this support level here. Yep, see, now we're breaking to the downside. Now we still may get some push up here from that overall resistance line. So I'm just going to adjust these. Come on. Put them at the same spot here. And again, on these buys, we're only looking for 2 pips, so we're not asking the market to do something extraordinary, especially with it at a resistance level. Now, there's a lot of downward momentum here, so we may end up, taking some loss on that trade. But we'll make it up with all this momentum on the downside. Go ahead and peel these off. We're not going to make any money on our sells if we have buys stuck on there. I am liking this momentum though. It's just going to keep pushing us down. There is a support level right here that I didn't mark. I try not to put too many levels on at one time, but we do have it on here, right? This is that reverse right there. Came down, went back up. All right, here we go. We got a little bit of a pullback now. We'll be able to put some more cells on and watch it push down all the way into this lower range here. I'm going to go ahead and start working into a couple more buys. Take some of that profit out that we lost from the buy trades. So. And I try to only get in, a couple trades at a time. I don't have a lot of position size in this account, at point 0.4. So if I'm doing micro lots, I can only do 40 trades. So if this thing gets against me, I'm going to be needing some of that equity, right, to some of those positions to get me back into a favorable position. So I don't want to start off heavy and then not have any flexibility once I get where I'm going. This is what we expected to see. I just expected to see it above this blue line, not below it. So we'll take a minute here to see what the market's going to do. But we'll continue to try to get, 2 pips off of a couple of these trades. Just to kind of recoup some of our losses, start building a little bit of position for today. Ultimately it's about making money. So what's nice is it looks like our apex trades are going to be in good position for this rundown. If it continues a trend like this, where we have some consolidation and down, we're already in the consolidation phase, and we finally got the first pull down right here that went in our favor. So if we can stay here and follow the daily trend, that could turn into a pretty good position size, even though we're scalping 2, 3, 4 pips out of the market. For the rest of our trades, I think we're going to be in a good position to hold on to that for a while as the market moves around today. All right, so this is that pullback I was wanting. We need pullbacks to be able to get into better positions, because like I said, you don't want to chase the money down because you don't ever know when it's going to come back up. So as we stay in these positions, we want it to pull back so we can build in some more positions and then take those profits that goes in our favor. I like to kind of stack up these take profits so that they're not all spread out. But I also do like having a situation where as the market moves down, you're like, take profit, take profit, take profit, take profit. So we may put in a couple extra trades just so we can kind of catch the movement as it comes down and not have to wait for it to get all the way back down to where it's going. Like right here, we'll just try to get 2 pips off of that, and then it'll come back down to our second layer and then back down to our third layer. As the market moves against us, I try to add positions, every if we're trying for 2 to 3 pips, then I wait 3 pips for it to go up, because you don't want to get in too heavy on the way up, and then when it gets to the top, you don't have any ammunition left to load up your best position at the top. Would be nice if it'd come back down and get some of these 2 pip profits though as it goes up, kind of come down, bounce, come down, bounce, come down, bounce. But we'll see. The market has a mind of its own. So here's a little bit of a pullback, and we'll see if it'll actually break back down. So here we're at this support line right here, right? So tried to break through that and kind of came back. So we may get some bouncing here at this level as it tries to decide which direction it wants to go on this little pullback here. All right, looks like we have this candle closed, below the last one. That's usually pretty indicative of a downward momentum. So we'll get a little bit of take profit here as it comes down. Hopefully, if it'll close some of these trades out. Hopefully it'll come through, hit this. That'll be 3 or 4 trades of some pretty good profit. We're almost back even for the day after taking those losses on those buys. But we're in a pretty good position right now. I'd like to have gotten more pips so far, but there's just not a lot of volatility in the market. We're moving really slow, and I'm being conservative. So that means our pip count's going to be low. Our daily return's going to be low, but on a trading day, I'm trying to get maybe 1%. But while I become consistent, I'm still a new trader. I've been trading for about a year. Right now, for me, the goal is have consistent trading sessions, try to follow the process, and understand what I'm doing. As long as my daily return is a positive number, I count that as a win for me right now. I don't trade for income. I trade for kind of supplemental income to learn the markets, kind of as a hobby. So in that case, I'm not trying to win the lottery, trading Forex, for 1 hour a day. So my mindset's a little different. I'm just trying to stay with green pips. And as long as I can get some pips out of the market that day and walk away without taking a loss, I feel like I've succeeded. I beat the market that day because I was able to get some money out and then walk away from the table and come back tomorrow, right? So for me, that's what this is about. Just being a consistent trader and, looking for those opportunities to win. And, over the last couple of weeks, I've realized that if you take that mindset, and you'll see throughout these streams, hopefully, that, some days are going to be, 0.10% or break even. But you still had a good day, right? You didn't lose money. You learned some things along the way. I've learned a lot about looking for these resistance levels and watching the trends and understanding what the market's doing, right? Being able to take a couple pips of profit out of the market. You learn those things over time. So that's all I'm doing right now. I'm just learning. I'm watching the markets. I'm getting a feel for them. And as long as I can get out of the market without losing money or making money, then over the long run, I'm going to do pretty well. There's going to be some days where I don't make a lot of money or a lot of pips. But if I can keep from losing, that'll be good. And then there'll be days where the market really does what we want it to do. Has a lot of volatility. It's up, down. You're able to get 100, 200 pips out of that, and then you're up 1% for the day, 2% for the day. 1% is my normal target. If I can trade for an hour and make 1%, I feel like I've really put in my work, made that hour worth it. So, and we'll be trading today until about 12:15 GMT. So we got about 30 minutes left. We're about halfway through our trading session. So we got the pullback we wanted, but it didn't quite get down here to our take profits, which is disappointing. That would have been a nice little profit, and if it could have hit that and then bounced back up, we would have been in position to add some more layers up here, and then we've already got our profit booked. So that's what I'm looking for here, is for this candle to hopefully take us out so we can get that ammunition back and we can fire those bullets again, right? That's what it's all about. We only have so many bullets. There we go. It just took them right there. So we still have our top level cells, right? This purple line, our cells up here, they're doing really great. We're breaking through this resistance line, so hopefully we'll get some more movement down. It'll probably bounce off this blue line here at 107.887. So what the market is definitely moving in our favor. Now we're up positive pips for the day, 6.3 banked pips. Of course, this unrealized is still over here, so if the market goes against us, we can't count those eggs. They're not in our basket yet. So, all right, we're getting a little bit of a pullback. If it gets back up here, well, right now I'm just looking for the best opportunity to get back in, right, for those 2 pips. What I would like is for our take profit to be, above the bottom of this candle. So if it can get up here and I can do some take profits, that's where I want it, is where this candle ended, because there's a good probability that it's going to at least get back down that far, right? So when you're scalping these pips out of the market, 2 or 3 at a time, you want your take profits to be in the most likely position that it's going to come down to. So again, there we go. See, that's perfect. With those take profits right at the end of that candle, there's a high probability that it's going to come back down to at least that level. And if that's the case, then I can get 2 pips, 2 pips, 2 pips, 2 pips every time it does this little bounce up and down, which is kind of what we want, right? We want to slowly build into some profit. And I can do the same thing as I did up here, right? I can take one of these take profits off, so if it does run, we get some pretty good profit. I do try to move down, at least one of, a bundle of 2 or 3 trades, so that, if it does move in the right direction, we can capture maybe 5, 6 pips, and then just close it out if it doesn't look like it's going to make that strong of a move. That's one thing that you can do. Determining what your pips are going to be, for me, is a lot about the spread, right? We have a really low spread right now, so I don't have to take a lot of pips to counteract the spread. The market's not moving a ton, right? We're still, even on these big moves, we're looking at 3 pips a candle. I want to be sure that I'm inside that movement. So if I'm looking at 5 pips, I'll never get 5 pips out of a bar. And since I'm scalping, I want to be in, 3, 4 bars. I don't want to be in 45 minutes, sitting here the whole trade session waiting to have our positions closed. So again, our biggest trade's about 3 pips down. That's why I'm kind of adding some positions in here. And it'll be fun to see it come down and kind of take our profits out as it goes. That's what we're here for, right? Have a little fun, make a little money, get a good day's work in before we ever go to work. I have a full-time job, so when I leave here, I go to work and work 8 hours a day. But this is kind of relaxing to me. It's kind of, I grew up playing video games, and this is kind of the video game that I can play and actually win real money, right? It's like, if you could trade in your World of Warcraft gold for real money, this is the World of Warcraft of trading. I get to come in. I have a quest to be positive in my daily returns, and if I complete that quest, I get gold, and I get to turn that gold into real money, which is amazing to me that this opportunity exists. So still making some pips here, getting them added to our bank. Those first positions are really good. That may end up saving us for the day since we don't have a lot of movement on the market. we'll be able to hopefully bank those for 20, 25 pips, which will kind of save us from not having a lot of volatility. Even right now, we're in this consolidation phase, and at 3 pips a bar, 10 pips a move here, we are not in a position to really draw a ton of money out of the market. And I don't know if this is indicative of a Monday, right? The market's just open. We're waiting to find out what Trump says, what the news is, all the fallout from the weekend. So it may be the case that we just won't see a lot of movement today. We may have to wait until tomorrow. We'll see, what the trends end up doing throughout the day. And then tomorrow, hopefully we'll come in and we'll have some good, 4 or 5 pip bars that we'll be able to get a lot of momentum out of, and just make our scalping a lot easier. Now, as far as working the Forex market, this seems tedious because I'm waiting on just these 2 pips, and it's small bar, small bar, small bar. But this doesn't work, guys. This pattern we're seeing went in our favor. This is very relaxing. I know when it pulls back, I can get in for a couple pips. We're up for the day. I'm in a good position, right? So this isn't stressful at all. I don't even consider this work, right? What I do consider work is there's times where, I'll put this sell on, and the market will go up and up and up and up. That's work, right? Because now you're in an upside down position, and you really have to work your way out of it. Trying to suck 2 pips out of every single little pull down, so that you can counteract the losses you're taking on your sell while it goes up. And then hopefully, what that does is put you in a position that when it comes back down, you've already made up all your pips during the move, so that when it's down here, worst case, you can break even on that trade, right? Or best case, I guess. You can break even on the trade, but you've been able to get the pips to make up for that on the way up and down. But it is risky, and it is a little more work than when the market's going in your favor, right? This isn't work. I'm just putting on trades and letting it do its thing, right? I'm letting it help me. But when it starts going against you, that's when you have to actually work the market a little bit. I'm actually glad this is my first stream, guys. So if you're watching this video, I really appreciate you being here. I hope you like, subscribe. I'm going to try to go live every day that I'm trading. Luckily, I've been able to trade 5 days a week for the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping that trend continues because I'm really getting in a groove. But like I said, I do want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, click the bell, all the normal YouTube things, right? Come see me trade live or watch the videos after the fact. I hope you get something out of this. I hope it's entertaining for you. I hope if you don't know what Forex is or you've never traded, I hope this kind of gives you an inspiration, because I believe in the Forex markets. Right now, everybody is scrambling to try to find a way to make money. The stock market's down, and I don't have anything invested in this market unless I'm in a trade, right? And at that time, I'm trying to get my profits and get back out, right? I'm not sitting in a stock market that is going down, down, down. So the Forex market is one place that I can make money without any other drivers, right? The Forex market is where every country goes to trade currency. All the banks go to trade currency. So the Forex market's always going to be there. It's going to be stable. It's going to be available, right? So I think this is an invaluable skill to learn. And some of the things that you learn from trading these Forex currencies can be applied to other markets like the stock market, right? You're learning how to look at price, understanding why something may move certain ways. And you can definitely translate that to a long-term strategy where you look at a stock more technically and say, is this going to do what I think it's going to do? Is this really where I want to be in? Because some stock is about knowing the companies and those kind of things. But there is some traders, the day traders, that look for these same technical setups, right? And if they're trading those technical setups, the market is a lot more likely to do the thing you think it's going to do if people are looking for those patterns to trade. That's the whole thing is, if people identify the pattern and they're making trades off of that, that's going to influence the market just by itself. All right, so we had kind of an abnormal candle, and I normally jump all over those, but we were, in a little bit of a pullback. We've kind of gone up or gone down quite a bit, and then it came back up. It would have been nice if I had some buys down here, but we didn't really have a support or resistance level I could have traded off of. But now we're getting back into that support and resistance level up here, so this may be a good place for me to put on some more sells. I'm just making sure that our upward momentum here has kind of died off. But this would have probably been where I put some sells on anyway, looking for it to kind of retrace that 25 to 50% we talked about earlier. It didn't really come back all the way. But what's nice is, this is 7 pips, so, halfway would have been 3 or 4 pips. What's nice is we're still trading to the down, right? We're still in a sell market for us. So it's going to retrace for us, I think, either way, right? Whether it came back down immediately or the next pip, or it's going to bounce around the support level, right, and then come back down in our favor. So I don't think we miss anything by not trading this abnormal candle. When I say abnormal, these are 2 pips, 2 pips. This was 8 pips, right? That's not normal for what we've been seeing. It engulfed, 4 or 5 candles on the way up. So sometimes that can indicate a momentum change, and sometimes that's just from the pressure, right? Everybody's been pushing the market down, and finally it's like, no, I need to come back. I need to breathe a little bit, and it'll do that. It'll kind of shoot up. The other thing that happens right about this time, right? The U.S. market is going to open in 2 minutes, right? So sometimes you'll get a rally one way or the other right before those markets open. And I can't explain it. I don't know why it happens, but it definitely has a tendency to push one way or the other, which is good for us because we're hoping some of that volatility comes back in the market so we can get, some better positions set up. Because if we just sit here and watch the market go sideways the whole day, we won't be making very much money, right? So get some take profits scattered in here right at that blue line. Move this blue line up to right here. And you can see our pink line kind of going up and down, right? When we won all these trades down here, they went back up to this because that's our break even for those trades. But as we took sells at the bottom here, our break even came down. So what I use this line for is if things get bad, right? Or if I need to leave for the day, whatever, I want to know where the price has to get to for this unrealized pips to be 0. And that's what that pink line is for me. It averages all the open positions, the open price for the positions. It says the price is right there. You can close all the trades and be at a 0 win-loss ratio. Now we'll lose a bunch of pips here, right? But we also have enough trades on to support that at this level. Or excuse me, we'll win pips here, but those will cover the losses we would take for any of these subsequent trades down here. Where this gets useful is if we didn't have the trades up here, right? Let's say we started selling down here and it's gone against us, gone against us, gone against us, and we put trades on like we have here. This pink line would probably be somewhere around this set of trades here. So we know that if the market keeps going up, I just want to know how far back down does it have to come before I'm going to be able to get out of that trade even Steven, right? Which is helpful, you know. I believe it's helpful because it will change as you add more positions, right? So as I add positions on the way down here, you know, this line will keep following it like it did here. We added a bunch of positions, so the average position size or position price changed. As we took profit, it went back up. Sorry, guys. It went back up. So, very useful tool for me to kind of know where we're sitting at. It is, you know, I could just look down here, but that doesn't always tell you, you know, where the price has to get to. If you're spread out, you know, over 27 pips, just knowing what you're down or up doesn't really tell you, well, where in this 27 pips would my break even be if I took sells here and sells here and sells here. Did this bar come down far enough to actually make our money back? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something to tell me, where does price have to get? And am I putting enough trades on, right? If I put trades on here and I put some trades on here, is it enough to move the average enough that I could have a reasonable chance of getting out of those trades? Same with this, right? If I put trades on here and here, when I put trades on here, how many do I have to put on for this candle to have knocked me out? If I only have one trade here, two trades here, I may only need 3 or 4 trades up here, you know, and that'll give me a break-even point somewhere probably about the bottom of this candle. But that helps me make decisions about how heavy I go in my positions, where I want to take more trades. Right now I'm at break-even. I don't really want to take more trades. I have a couple on right here at this level, just because I really think this is going to pull back. You know, this is really bouncing up and down on this resistance level. You know, we saw that back here, and I think this is going to, you know, push down further. And again, I think this is just because the market opened, right? It kind of got some momentum. It needed some price movement. All the fresh traders are getting in there for the U.S. market, so they're trying to get their positions in for the day. So we'll see a little bit of a bounce here. That's why I usually try to trade 10-15 minutes into the U.S. market, because if you're upside down, you're going to get the movement you need to you know, settle your account. If, you know, you're in a good position, that may be the moves you need to you know, continue to make money for the day. So 10-15 minutes into the U.S. market is usually where I like to trade. That gives me enough time to get to work. Now in the 15-minute here, you can see we've kind of had 2 bars, kind of this 3-bar reversal pattern here. So we're going to keep an eye on that, because we're actually starting to take a little bit of a run up here. But I still think we're in a good position to sell, right? Because we had higher highs and lower lows, and I think the market is just trying to move back down to this this bottom here. So as we get closer to this moving average, that should give us some more pushback. Now we're back up to this resistance line here. I'm going to go ahead and put some sells on. Market is just not giving us very much today, is it? Again, we're kind of in our position, so we're just going to watch and see what happens here. I like that these candles are closing, below the previous candle. There are a lot of wicks, but we have wicks in both directions, so I don't really know what the market's going to do here. Normally I look at the wicks just to kind of see, we have big wicks here at the bottom. That means the market was pushing up. So hopefully these wicks at the top mean that we're going to get some downward momentum, but these wicks on the bottom are a little scary. That means we have a lot of pressure in both directions right now. Stochastic's been oversold, or overbought, I'm sorry. But we're starting to get down to where it's going to be oversold, which typically indicates that we may get some more movement up like we did right here. But all we need is for it to come down, right? Take out some of our take profits. We'll probably close out. If it gets down to this level, we'll go ahead and take all of our profits for the day and call it good. I'm going to go ahead and move all of our take profits down to, probably this level right here. Right before it gets into that, support area. And just kind of watch it, right? We're below our, see how as we took profits, right? Our break even went back up. We're kind of below our break even, right? We're positive in positive pip area. So I'm just going to watch this and see if we can get it to come down to our take profits. If we can't, I got about 5 minutes left. So if we can't get it to come back down, we'll probably just peel these trades off manually. Get out of our market up, 25% or so. Wasn't a crazy exciting day pip wise, but I think we got to see, the market do a lot of things in our favor. we were able to get some pips, and this is a lot slower of a trade day than I'm used to, so I got to learn a lot, seeing the market be slow, trying to think about what my next move should be. Should I go in a little heavier because it's slow? And really, it came down to being consistent, right? I was consistent. I stuck to my plan. I was patient, waited for the market to come to me. Sometimes it's easy to get impatient when you only have an hour. You're sitting here watching the market. You want it to go in your favor. You're like, come on, let's do this. Sometimes it just doesn't, right? You gotta take that day for what it is. You gotta appreciate that the market didn't go against you, and just take what you can get, right? We can't be greedy. If we start getting greedy, you're always going to be a loser, and that's just the way it is. So on this one, I'm going to take out my take profit. Oh, never mind. They closed it for me. All right. Well, normally, like I said, that Apex trade, I would have taken that take profit off. I should have done that sooner. I was a little slow there. And just let it run, set my stop loss break even for one of those trades. Take the take profit off and just let it run for the day. But we closed out all of our trades. We're up 90 pips for the day. I made about 4% or 0.4% on my account. So I feel like this has been a great day. I'm going to go ahead and remove all these objects. I hate loading the system back up. But this has been a great day for trading. I really feel like it was relaxing, right? I didn't work my way out of a lot of stuff. It was a little slow, but I'll take a slow, easy day as opposed to, a fast, hard day any day. So that was the trading for today, guys. And again, educational purposes, I'm just recording this so that I can go back and look at it, see my good days, my bad days, learn from the experience. So I'm hoping you can learn from it too. Risking, trading in Forex is risky. Never trade more than you can stand to lose. Trade at your own risk. Don't necessarily have to follow, or do I want you to follow my trades, but if you can learn something from this, that would be good. I'm not doing this so that people can follow along, but if you decide to get in the market, I do think you'll enjoy it, and it'll be a great learning experience for everyone. Again, thank you very much, guys. I hope you have a great day.